Yeah, Rosie, how are you?
Well, mate, very good, thanks.
Good. I was just I thought something came across my desk this week, which I thought was really interesting, and it's from Harvard Business Review. It's our favorite management tips on decision making. And I know that as a senior coach in AFL, you're under enormous pressure, particularly game day. And so I thought, how you go about making decisions in um, such a pressured environment, I thought might be really interesting to chat with our audience. So yeah, the first thing they started off with was to make decisions under pressure like an elite sport coach, which immediately made me think of you. So I don't know where you want to kick it off, or if there's anything particular that jumps in mind. I've made a few notes, but when we talk about it, what do you immediately think about?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, wasn't it? I think it was point one. Think about decision making as an elite coach.
Yeah,
Probably the thing that stands out, Murph, first and foremost, is you have to make decisions as a coach, don't you?
yeah,
And we talk about this a bit. Like in the corporate world, you can sort of kick the can down the road at times,
yeah,
whereas in sport, you have to make decisions. Now, they're not always the right decision,
yeah.
but you have to make a decision. And I think because of that, I reckon there's a process, isn't there? Now, it's almost become an unwritten law of decision making. Probably one of them I know was on the article was try and be non-emotional. I
Yeah.
think that's a really fascinating one, isn't it, Mert? Because you've sat in a lot of coaches' box, and I suspect you and I have spoken about this. I suspect one of the things that you would have noticed is that the calmest coaches probably make the best decisions. Is that fair?
100%. And I think the other thing is when they're under pressure, the the good coaches don't speak too much
Yeah.
because they let the emotions wash over them first, and then they get their emotions back in control, and then off they go. And you talk about this as well, particularly after a game when you've just lost a game and you're under enormous pressure with the media coming at you. You've got to you don't have to speak to your players, but you might
Yeah.
want to. And if you say the wrong thing there, it can really change relationships, can't it?
Yeah, and in the box, I think that's the thing too, Murph, isn't it? Like we see now, yeah, I won't mention the coach's name, but even the media pick up on it, don't they?
Oh,
They know when something happens in a game, an emotional coach, and they pan straight to the coach's box.
yeah,
And it's a bit like that in the corporate world, guys. So if you think about yourself as a coach, are people just staring at you under pressure because they're waiting for you to go nuts? Or are they staring at you because they know you're going to remain calm and you know they're going to calm everyone else down? I think that's a big part of it. And Jez, you touched on it. I think in a coach's box, the ability to delegate is really important, isn't it? And again, that's the same in the corporate world. You've got your midfield coach, you've got your backs coach, you've got your forwards coach. And I think probably one of my strengths was to defer to those coaches
yeah.
often.
But the other thing is, if you lose your shit at those guys, they're under pressure as well, aren't they? So that
Yeah.
then makes it harder for them to make good decisions. So I think you staying calm and, as you say, deferring to them, asking them questions, allows them to do their job much better.
Yeah. And the preparation during the week, Murph, too, I think,
Yeah.
again, getting back to the footy club or the high performing sporting environment, all week we're preparing for those decisions. And I just wonder in the corporate world, are you preparing for what could go wrong?
Yeah.
Right. What if this happens? And we actually call it a what if meeting, whether that's on the back of match committee where we talk about, what if Nick Dacos goes and plays a full forward? What if Dusty Martin comes on the ball? What
Yeah.
if Caddy and Martin swap? So I would advise any CEOs and management people out there to have your what if meetings. What if
Yeah.
interest rates go up next week or whenever the Reserve Bank? I think that's a big part of it, preparation, Murph, isn't it?
Yeah, because even if it doesn't come to fruition, if it does, at least you've prepared yourself for it, and you're then able to move more quickly, and and it takes a bit of the emotion out of it as well because you feel a bit better because you've already discussed it. What about the one that always fascinates me when in the coach's box, Ruzi, is the data versus
Yeah.
intuition. So you've got all the stats. They're all up there on the TV screens. Some are red, some are green, some are yellow. and you're looking at those and things aren't going that well, how do you know when to use the stats or when to just trust your own judgment or intuition?
It's a great question. You and I have had a couple of conversations around this, and it's funny. I was more of an intuitive coach, and I would use the stats to back up. Geez, Gary Ablett looks like he's getting off the chain a bit. Yeah, Roos, he's just had 10. Oh, thanks. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me 3 possessions ago, sort of thing? Whereas I'm not going to mention names, but a couple of other coaches I know would be directed by stats.
Yep.
Geez,
Yep.
Ablett's had 10, right? Let's shut him down, sort of thing. So I don't know whether there's a right or wrong, but I would encourage leaders to probably, because stats are easy to look at, but I would say, without putting words in your mouth, Murph, I think the ones that can read the situation and then marry the stats up with it probably just have a better feel for the situation, don't they?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a combination of both. But people, you can have a play with a lot of stats, but you can but they may not be damaging the game too much. So it's very much around where's the momentum, what's your feel for it, what's the balance, I think. And as you say, using the stats to help you measure it or manage it.
Yeah,
So.
I agree, because I reckon, let's say, I'll try and pluck one out in corporate terms. I mean, Adidas have just sold a billion runners. Gee, we've got to worry about them. And the analysis is, well, hang on, they've sold them all at 50%, so they're not making any margin on them. Do we really? I think that's my gut's telling me we don't have to worry. The stats is telling us they've sold them for, so then when we look underneath the stat to the next stat, we sort of go, oh yeah, we can't really afford to be selling all our runners at 50% off because we won't make any money. So I agree, Murph. I think there's a balance around it, the intuition with the data and trying to make a non-emotional decision.
Yeah. So in summary, then we've got manage your emotions. But probably one which we didn't touch on, but we talk about it all the time anyway, is come back to your core values. So understanding your values, do your what ifs, data versus intuition, use both, but also intuition comes from experience, and delegate to your people and trust the preparation that you put in. Is that a fair summary?
I think it's great. And I think if you take the emotion out, which is always really difficult, because if you're always emotional, you probably don't set up those systems, do you? Like emotion stops you from empowering people, doing a what if meeting, stats versus intuition, all the things that you've listed. I would say that's almost a number one, Murph, isn't it? If we can stay a bit calm and controlled, then we're probably going to set up some really nice decision-making processes. If we always rely on the weather, the economy, the win, the loss, what are we going to do? We're going to be, it's a shit day today. I'm feeling terrible. Oh, we've lost. I'm feeling. I think taking the emotion out of it, I reckon taking the emotion out of it, Murph, is probably the number one thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's probably a good way to finish is to talk about Neil Baum, who I can say this because it's a good story, who I worked with for years, and you know very well. As a football manager, Barmy was amazing because he bought time for the people underneath him and gave them a chance, and he gave the time to make really good decisions without emotion.
Yeah.
To work through it. Yeah. So he'd take the heat off the people below him. He'd keep the CEO on the board away, he'd keep the media away. And what he always did was he allowed the people underneath him to make good decisions. So as a CEO or a senior manager, I would say do the same. Like give your people time and space to make good decisions without the emotion that comes with pressure or losses or not meeting budgets, etc.
And I reckon you're right. The other thing about Barmy, while we're talking about him, he had a good ability, I guess, to absorb the pressure of other people. So give me the pressure, I'll take it. You guys relax. And I think that's, is there someone in your organisation that just naturally is calm and naturally is analytical and naturally is happy to absorb a bit of the pressure, utilise them, because it's a superpower, isn't it? And Barmy's got that superpower. Yeah.
All right, well, it's good, Roosie. We'll send that article out, and hope that's been valuable.
Beautiful. Thanks, everyone.